Ramble.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures. Today we're talking about High School Musical 2, and joining us in the studio, we got the king of High School Musical, Mr. Jarvis Johnson.
My best friend Jar Jar's back.
I'm like, how old can I get whereas being referred to as the king of a high school is kind of a bad thing?
Jar Jar's back.
You're the king of high school, and Garrick is out today, but we do have Rainie in the studio. Rainie, I know, loves this movie. So
You do?
Hey, well, it's my coming of age. That's
Oh.
I was in 5th grade when it came out. It was for me.
Oh, it was just
Yeah.
my coming today. You know what I mean? This movie was hot.
Guys, can I tell you something? First of all, how you feeling?
You know what? All things considered, pretty good.
I feel like this a selfish moment. Sorry, Jar Jar. This is the first podcast of Guilty Pleasures I'm doing as announcing myself as a single woman. So I don't know if we're gonna get some like rom-coms or some bad breakup movies, but I feel like we could let me cry, use this as therapy. AKA, I just don't want to watch any more scary movies.
Yeah. And how was this to usher in that era? I mean, this was carefree, happy.
Summer.
It was like forced serotonin.
Good.
Yeah, it was like watching like a happy duck video. I don't want a
Forced
duck, but I was like,
serotonin.
yeah, it made me happy.
Yeah.
And can I just ask you both a question? What time is it? Summertime. It's our vacation. What
It's like I'm a sleeper agent that's been activated by that question.
Wow.
Kelsey's looking at me like, what is going on?
No, I liked that song, but damn, that was good harmony and stuff.
Whenever someone's like, "Hey, what time is it?" Jarvis, summertime.
Yeah, for years I couldn't wear a watch because I was nervous about dancing in front of strangers.
So I need to tell you, I'm curious if this is the same for you, Jarvis. This was my first time watching High School Musical 2.
It's wild to me.
Rainie just squinted her eyes and shook her head.
Wait, but Jar Jar, you're a young one, right?
I'm not that young.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
I'm turning 32 next week.
So my first time watching this movie was when it aired, but actually before it aired because it leaked ahead of time. So I pirated the movie
What?
before it
Bad
premiered
boy.
on Disney Channel.
Felon over
downloaded
here.
it from the Pirate Bay. The real ones know.
PirateBay.com.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
You were so now. Was it a good high res rip or was it like the fuzzy?
It
like,
was a pretty high
320?
res. I think I was surprised with the rip. I remember going to a party where we were watching the movie for the first time, and I already knew some of the songs and choreography, and people were like, "How did you?"
Whoa! You knew the songs and the
choreography.
Some of the choreography. I think that this is the movie. This is like it's the best one. It's the best High School Musical movie.
I might fucking agree. I just
Good
want to
to
say this
know.
movie absolutely rips.
Yeah. 2, it is it's got the best songs, and I know
Ooh.
that I know like 3 of the at least 2 dances.
Prove it.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll
make a TikTok. Wow. No, yeah, this was my first time too. And I'm not going to lie. I was thinking back on our wonderful time we've had with Jar
Yes,
Jar
of
here
course.
before. Couldn't remember a fucking thing. I don't
From the first
remember
movie?
not a single thing. And this was mere months ago. I don't remember what happened. I remember they're in high school and there was a musical.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
What?
They kind of repeated the plot of the first movie for the second movie.
Don't say.
Except for instead of a basketball game, there's the summer talent show.
Got it.
And then there also is no high school in this movie. They just leave high school.
It's summertime.
Yeah, it is summertime. It's our vacation, as they say in the song.
If you've never seen High School Musical 2, we got you covered. High School Musical 2 follows the Wildcats, but it's summertime. They're all trying to find jobs, and what's her name? Sharpay. She wants Troy. She wants him bad. So she gets him a job at her
Country
private
club.
country club summer retreat in Sedona?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
It's desert.
In some beautiful desert. But Troy brings the whole group. Sharpay, she's making them move. She's swooping in. She's trying to get Troy to be her man
For the talent show.
for life.
Yeah.
For in bed.
And then Troy's trying to get
She starts with the talent show,
scholarship.
though. I get the long con, I think, is those things. But for starters, I think she's starting small with the talent show.
Along the way,
yeah.
Troy starts to lose himself.
Ugh.
And there's a question of, are they really all in this together?
Almost like the first movie.
Yeah, to me, I saw it. It was like the classic case of boy gets a taste of the rich life and has to decide, does he want to lose himself for the money and the hoes and the cocaine and the drugs and the F1s and
Right.
or does he?
I love that scene with the cocaine and the
Yeah,
hose
Yeah.
and the
but the
F1.
Disney version of that, which is just
Fancy
college
dinners?
basketball players.
Or does he go for what I actually think, hot take, that this movie is not so much a love story between him and Vanessa Hudgens, whose character? What's her name?
Gabriella.
Gabriella Montez.
I think it's a love story between him and Chad.
100,000%.
Yeah.
Corbin Bleu continues to outshine everyone on screen. That motherfucker is so talented. And absolutely at the end, there's this like big reconciliation.
Yeah.
It's absolutely between Corbin
Yeah.
and Troy.
Yeah. Though Corbin Bleu does have a bit of a fling during the movie with none other than Ryan.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
this,
Oh, my
was the
God.
gay one, right? Like this is for sure the
yeah.
gay one. Because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I said the first one that this is the gay one, but I
Yeah.
think they're all a little gay.
Well, no, this is like canonically. Well, like Ryan is canonically gay, but like Kenny Ortega, the director, said that like Disney wasn't ready for that at the time. Kenny Ortega also being a gay man himself.
Oh.
But there's a lot of fan theorizing about the song I Don't Dance and the choreography and the sort of story between Ryan and Chad.
Oh man, because
I want to. Okay, should we start with that?
can we
scene
start with
then?
it?
Because
The best one.
the baseball scene, dear listeners.
The best one.
Now, I had said previously that
Mm-hmm.
the baseball scene in Twilight was the best scene in cinematic history. This is
This.
a close second.
If
Yeah.
you like West Side Story and you like Not All Black Boys Are Blue, you are going to love this baseball scene. It's got razzle. It's got dazzle. It's got a pitcher wearing all white. It's got a guy doing a split.
It's got jazz hands.
It's got R&B turned into a swing number.
It's like a
got-
Michael Jackson style duet about how baseball and dancing are basically the same thing, but also I don't want to dance.
No.
Yeah, it also furthers something in Chad's character, which is
Chad is Corbin Bleu.
Corbin Bleu, yeah, where he is constantly talking about hating theater, hating dancing,
Yeah.
while participating in those things
Right.
all the time.
He's denying his sexuality. That's what it's the metaphor for,
I mean, hey,
right? I don't
look.
want to dance. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to be, but like for you,
I did not read it this way.
Well, so
my
listen.
God.
So like, if you watch the video, there's a lot of, or if you watch the actual dance, there's a lot of sexual tension, or there's a lot of they're in high school.
Definitely read it that way. Yeah, but they're adults.
But here's the thing: they are adults. They were in their like early 20s.
Let's acknowledge we're talking about teenagers
Thank
played by
God.
adults. That said, this scene has so much sexual tension,
Yeah.
and it is palpable. It is undeniable. We're not weird. You're weird
Yeah,
if you don't
you-
see
Well,
it.
the fucking weird.
It's like it's all conspiracy theory and guesswork until the post game scene.
yes,
And I don't know if you picked this up,
Glad you brought this up.
where they swap clothes.
They have swapped clothes.
Wait,
It,
what?
It
So
cuts
it's-
away to a basketball scene.
and then they
comes
come back.
and they're hanging
They're,
out.
they're
as
hanging out. They're
bros
eating at the picnic
in the
table,
dugouts by the field.
and they've swapped clothes.
And he's
Shut-
wearing all white with the hat, and he's now in a baseball uniform.
Shut the fuck
Like
up.
they
Yeah.
just went and fucked in the dugout, and now they're like in a rush to put each other. Like they were like, "Oh, I grabbed your shirt. Just put something on, man."
yeah, it is. It is one of the things where it's like, okay, explain that.
The
there's-
pitcher and the catcher euphemism. You guys.
Wow, this is more than I've thought about.
Oh, you need
Oh.
to talk gay stuff. I'm your girl.
Well, like yeah,
Oh
it's like
my God.
This is your yeah.
Wait,
not my place.
I am stunned that they
the
changed
guy
clothes.
does a full split into first base.
I
He's
did
doing
love that.
twinkle toes. Like
Yeah.
It's
come
also,
on.
by the way, I mean, to step away from the gay for a moment,
Why?
we'll be back. Don't
Okay.
worry. The choreography during that number, genuine
Amazing.
blast.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's
Yeah.
so delightful. It's so silly, but like it sells and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're playing baseball while dancing.
It's
and
like
I also
9
think
inning.
the call and response between the two characters is also very good. Just like their voices complement each other very well.
yeah, it sounds great.
It's a big
it's a
story.
banger.
You know what I mean? Like in inning 1, he's showing him up, and inning 2 through whatever 6, he's the Ryan's getting him out. It's a tight game, and what I love is in the end, Ryan showed up to say, "Hey, I can play baseball. Look how hetero I can be." And
Yeah.
then he loses, but don't worry, our boy Chad is like, "Hey, man, I don't want to dance, but if I did, what would you have me do?"
Oh, that's a hotline.
Are you fucking kidding if I just lost and like thought my my ego is so bruised, and then the guy that I want to fuck is like, what would you have me do?
But by the way, the camera it's on Ryan, and he doesn't turn, and he smiles and walks away. And I was just imagining the scene from if the camera were on the other side, where Corbin says like, "Hey, if I did dance, what would you have me do?" He doesn't turn and walks away. And be like, "All right, dick."
Yeah.
No, that
Fuck
was
you.
the cue for him to be like, follow me to this dugout.
I bet you that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fact. Rainie, are we blowing your mind right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't like a widely known.
There's
No,
a
definitely
great
not.
video about the why did they switch clothes thing by a creator named 24 Frames of Nick, who did a whole video essay on this question
Wow.
of why they swapped clothes.
What's
But,
his explanation?
I mean, it's basically everything we've discussed already. So
Yes.
Another thing I loved is that scene begins where Ryan walks out into the field and goes, "Hey, pitcher,"
Yeah.
and then takes the ball as if the pitcher's like, "Okay, I guess I'll go play second base now."
Like as if pitching is not the hardest fucking position in baseball.
Ryan is one of, if not my favorite character in High School Musical, and he has a lot of interesting stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Like the insinuation that dancing and baseball are the same thing. It's very different to learn.
but there's also the storyline with Troy and Gabriella sort of separating.
Yes.
And Troy getting jealous of Ryan because
But he's the gay BFF, and that's like classic hetero man syndrome of being
Yeah.
like, why do you let him watch you change, but not me?
there's a great interaction where Ryan is describing like Troy comes up to Gabrielle and Ryan, and they're like just talking about
Dancing.
They're like I think they're dancing a little bit, yeah. And then Ryan is like, "Oh, you've got to try Gabriella's mom's brownies." And he's like, "I've had them."
Jesus, like classic. I love, and the moments like his growth is also with his sister, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the first time he kind of stands up to Sharpay and says, "I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do. I'm going to help out these what they insinuate as like poor idiots and get them into our fancy country club."
Right.
And then in the end, Sharpay ends up giving the talent show trophy to her brother, which he didn't even perform.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he kind of
I have so many thoughts about the ending because I want to. Maybe we can build there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we go back to the beginning?
go back to
Let's
school.
go back.
Back to the
We're talking about Disney
beginning.
Yeah.
The opening fucking rules.
It's awesome. And
There's so much that rules.
that released as a single before the movie came out.
Oh.
What time is it? Summertime?
Yeah,
It's our
and it was.
vacation?
I remember buying it on iTunes for 99
You
cents
bought it on iTunes.
because that's just what we
99
did
cents.
back then. Yeah, and it is a banger. Also, I talked about this in a video that I did about it, but it's so funny that they are talking about how it's summer vacation. They dance around the school. Then they leave the school to imply that they're out for the summer. And then the next scene, they're back in school.
Yeah. That was confusing.
Yeah. Because it's like it's not quite summer yet, I
But
guess.
did you guys have like when you graduate or like when summer came, did you do that thing where everyone throws the papers in the courtyard or like
No.
and then
I
we
thought
all
that was
hang out
just
in the
in the
parking
movies.
lot? Oh, we did that.
I was
every
in high
year.
jealous
school
of
while
it.
High School Musical was airing, and I was like, my school ain't got none of this shit.
No, it was like we had after school activities. Like we all hung out in the parking lot. Like that was a vibe. It was like you stayed at school during summer
It's the
because it's
dream.
more lax.
Hell yeah. The opening scene, they're in this class with Miss Darvis. You get the line.
Darbus.
Oh, Darbus.
excuse
No
me.
relation, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. If you say it too fast, it sounds like
You
my
get
name.
the line, dude, Miss Darvis has snapped her cap. But you get this moment of like magical realism almost where Troy is, so everyone is like, she's droning on, and Troy's kind of spacing out. And then he looks behind her and the clock is
It's
giant.
massive.
Yeah.
And like you're in this dream sequence and they do it like only twice
No,
during
it
the
was
movie.
very out of place.
And it's kind of incredible. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, whoa, this movie's gonna have like a
Yeah.
crazy
Magical,
style.
stylized.
And then no, it's
No,
gone.
no.
But it's
It was
a
almost
great
like
moment.
the studio was like, we'll give him 2 moments of his personal style. Everything else, cookie cutter.
So they're in the class and they're all chanting summer, 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 and then it cuts to Gabriella and she's looking at Troy and she goes summer.
It sounds like she's coming.
It is.
I wrote that down, but then I was like, I'm not going to say that because I've already talked about cum too much. But the girl sounds like she's having an orgasm. She's like, summer.
She is
I was like,
lusting
the fuck?
hard
For summer.
for summer.
That is funny.
And remind me, Jar Jar, my best friend Jar Jar, in the first one, do they kiss?
No. So this movie is their first kiss.
Oh, and boy,
barely.
yeah.
This movie, barely.
Yeah.
They
right
have
at
the
end.
classic where they're about to kiss. They're about to kiss, and
Every
they keep
scene they're
getting
in together.
interrupted.
But the biggest moment of like this first scene, like this first number diddly do, if you will, is when Troy gives our girl Gabriella
just the most beautiful necklace.
just the most massive fucking tea
The
necklace.
most narcissistic gift.
The most obsessive possessive merch I've ever seen in my life.
He is in Troy.
This is like a shirt that says "I love my boyfriend."
it's
Yeah.
this like pathetic thin silver band
Yeah.
with a fucking giant blue T.
In college
department.
font. In
Yeah.
like the, you know what I mean? The,
Do you think the art department was like, "You guys, we're not going to be able to see what it says," and they're like, "It's a movie."
And she
we can
does say
see
what it says. She goes, a T.
for Troy.
I couldn't help but feel so like when they're doing this opening dance number, they just must have felt on top of the fucking
Yeah.
world. Because this is after High School Musical.
Yep.
They're as big as
Yeah.
they can be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they crush it. They're coming back for the sequel. They're in the same location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're singing a song that's a fucking banger and a half.
Yeah.
They know that they got a hit.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. They also had a budget, you know, because the first,
Yeah.
the first one, it was one of those things where it's like this can either go or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
And then
right.
the second one, they were like,
Like,
okay,
oh, it's
we
going.
Know,
You
we
know what my
it's going.
first comment was? Oh my God, this one has better dancing already. They
Yeah.
hired real dancers.
You
for
got
this
fucking
one.
Corbin Blue parkouring off of lockers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That first number ends with Troy doing a penguin slide.
Oh,
The
yeah.
cafeteria floor.
Also, I do have to point this out. Corbin Blue kisses Miss Darbus.
Yes, we were all just gonna look past that.
I had to
weren't we?
mention that.
I missed this.
Yeah, he
kisses
just
her.
plants one on her, like
On her
I
lip.
think on her cheek.
Goodbye.
On her cheek.
But
I
she,
think on her cheek,
I
but
don't
it's really
know.
hard to tell.
And it's also inappropriate either way. Okay, remember I grew up in Tampa. This is a thing that kids and teachers used
okay,
to do.
maybe Corbin is just fucking everyone in this movie.
I think he's bi. Didn't we say that in the first one?
If
I mean,
we
maybe,
didn't,
I
let's
don't-
go ahead and say that they cut it out. 'cause-
Bi queen.
Bi queen.
Yeah, he's still wearing his shirts that say fun phrases.
Yep.
Apparently, did you say last episode that
he
Corbin
does-
Blue picked those out?
I want to. I don't remember. I honestly
I want to
feel
say
like that
that's
was a
something
fun
that
fact.
a fun fact that you brought that I did not know.
But I was watching this movie and I honestly forgot about that. And it took me until like 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, oh, right, his fucking shirt.
The one that's
Yeah.
like, don't read this shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Classic.
He had one at the end that was in the final musical number that was a TV and it said, I just look like him. And I'm wondering if he was like, it'd be really funny if you did that because when people ask me in real life if I'm from High School Musical, I say,
I just
nah,
look like him.
I just look like him.
That's goofy and meta.
Corbin Blue, star of stage and screen, who did Broadway and then now is back on High School Musical, the musical, the series as Corbin Blue.
What?
Which
Wow,
is
that breaks my brain.
He also has short hair, which is breaks my brain.
Yeah.
But it is funny because you know that the whole premise of that show is that it is a high school. It's a universe in which High School Musical the movies exist,
Right.
And then a high school is doing a performance of it. So he exists
can't.
as the actor Corbin Blue.
I'm too sober for that.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, Corbin Blue's here, and it's like, yeah, you're an actor in the movie, not like a kid from East High.
I want to give just a moment. I know we talked about it in the first one, but to the fashion because it don't quit.
Let me open my notes.
The layering that Gabrielle has, it's just
It was an era, babes.
Yeah.
It was a fucking era. I said the whole budget just went to the hat stylist. for this movie. There are hats everywhere. I've never seen so many extras with hats on unless it was like the fucking Peaky Blinders. There were orange page boy hats, neon pink oversized sunny hats, a bright orange chef hat. There was a Cheeto rainbow cook's hat. Like there were hats in places there shouldn't have been hats. At times that was like We were into hats, but we weren't that fucking into hats ever. It was a lot of hats.
It's a
That's
lot
so funny.
of
I
hats.
didn't notice that. I just think about Ryan whenever I think about hats.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No,
what hat is he wearing?
I don't know if we discussed this the last time. Was Kelsey in the first one? Because that's my name. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
didn't connect that.
Every time they said her name, I was like, this is so weird. I never hear my name on movies. She was always wearing fucking hats.
And she
and she
wasn't
had an
in this
expanded
movie.
role in this one.
She sure did. She was
Was in this movie. Why did I say she wasn't in this movie? She wrote the music movie.
Not
Is
only
she
was
not
she,
in the third? I'll be devastated.
No. I just randomly decided to lie.
she's also definitely gay, right? She's like an artist / rower. Come on.
At the end, okay, at the final scene, not to jump all the way at the end, but when they're walking into Happily Ever After, they're all linking arms, and you have she's linking arms with the new doofus.
Who's the new dude?
His name is I honestly I wrote him down as the GOAT because he had the line of "I'm not Miss Evans, I'm Jason."
Oh, Jason. Jason's so funny.
Where did that guy come in? I don't remember that.
He's in. I mean, he's got the slick, long black hair.
Yeah.
Or like medium length
He's
black
like a
hair.
student?
Yeah, he's just like
He
a
just
dumb
added
guy.
a dummy.
His-
He's
his-
not in the first one, right?
I don't think so. No.
I remember him. They're hooking up. Shit.
They
Well,
just
I
show
mean,
him linking arms.
linking
at the
arms.
end. And you know if you linking arms
In high school?
you know what's
That's
up.
the other thing that I can't get over, right? Is like the actors themselves were probably like very popular. They were doing the drugs and the sex. They were definitely
Yeah.
boning, and then they'd come and play these like really squeaky clean.
Also,
clean
yeah,
high
Zac
schoolers.
Efron and Vanessa Hudgens are dating at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, what senior that's ready to go off to college isn't fucking, let alone kissing?
Me.
We can move on. I forgot who I was talking to. I'm
Somewhere in the
sorry.
universe, Garrick just also suddenly went, me.
It's like, where did that come from?
For no reason at all. Dead.
Man. Did you guys notice that Vanessa Hudgens had a stunt double?
Yes.
Yes!
To
we're
jump into
jumping
the water?
Just for-
The fact that it was so obvious that all three of us like noticed. Come on, guys.
It's
Yeah.
just this moment where Sharpay falls in the pool and Vanessa Hudgens has to dive in.
Because she's
the
a lifeguard.
lifeguard.
Yeah. And they just cut
Put a
to-
wig on a woman.
God forbid.
Any
a
woman.
random woman.
Yeah, anyone.
She was definitely a white lady with like
You.
blonde hair.
Throw this wig on.
She was also like 40.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
We need someone to dive in the pool.
Stacey.
Sharon, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
She's like the sound person.
yeah, they're like,
Put down that
boom pole. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. But I also feel like she wasn't in this one at all.
Yeah, she has a diminished role.
Yeah.
And I would say that when she is there, I don't prefer it.
Well, she doesn't.
That's what my boyfriend said when he was breaking up with me.
Oh my God! Did
Sorry, there's gonna be a lot
you
of that.
sing "What About Us"? What about everything we've been through?
I loved that song.
I know it's a really
Is
I was
that
like,
Gabriella's
why is-
lament?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
so
It's Gabriella's
emotional.
Lament Part 2.
But you know what? It sounds like, what about us? What about us?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
I
like
think
Dear
it might be a
Evan
little bit of a
Hansen.
reference. I don't know, but
Well, I thought that song was kind of boring, but then fucking my boy Zach
Yeah,
comes
he
in and he
brought
goes,
it in.
"What about us?"
He like pops it.
what
scared
about
the shit out of
everything
me.
we've been through?
Ooh, Jar Jar with the pipes. I can't forget.
So the thing I wanted to point out about Gabriella's character is that she's not Gabriella. Like we established Gabriella as this freaky genius girl,
Yes.
cool nerd, like
Yes.
who's doing it all. And then in this
Yes.
movie, she's just kind of like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Just like a taking it on the chin.
yeah,
Yeah.
She seems, and how do I say this nicely, as a real simple gal
yeah.
in this movie.
Like she started smoking weed that year and was
every scene,
pretty gone.
She just is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. They like threw her into scenes where it didn't even make sense. Like her
Yeah.
at the baseball game, her
I can
like
barely
in the
remember
kitchen.
things that all I can remember really from her is like Music and Me, which is
Which
another.
is a fucking banger.
It's very good,
Yeah.
and it has a I think a ghost sung line. There's like one line in that that Vanessa Hudgens is not singing, and I will die on that hill.
Really? It's a mouth.
Yeah, it's
Mouth it.
Or you're saying they got a different singer to do
it's
it.
the Feels like I knew you before we met.
Ooh.
Can't explain.
Ooh.
It's literally a different human being singing. Can't explain.
Yeah, sometimes it rocks back and forth between like vibratos where I'm like, that doesn't.
I'm
They
like,
just
that's
were like,
the
hey,
woman
Jennifer
who,
Hudson, get in here real quick.
Sandra's drying off from getting out of the
Her
pool.
name was Stacy and Sharon, and now Sandra.
She's picking back up the boom ball. And they're like, put
Bring
that
her in
down.
ADR.
Get into the recording studio.
Honestly, and they did that for Zach Efron too, right?
Not as much. So the story goes that in the first movie, Zach Efron's voice was blended with this guy Drew Seeley,
Right.
who primarily sang in High School Musical 1. And Zach Efron had very few parts of his actual voice, and they did that without even telling Zach Efron. He recorded all of the parts, and they were like, oh, and then they just put
That's
someone else's.
Fucking funny.
Yeah, but he's like 18, so what is he going to do?
He's not good. He's doing coke off of Vanessa Hudgens'
Yeah.
ass. She's fine. Sorry.
So then in this...
That's inappropriate.
So in this movie...
But
Yeah.
In this movie, he went to he like did vocal lessons and stuff. He sings most of his, if not all,
He sounded better.
Yeah.
He sounded more like him.
because he also was he was doing Hairspray after this. And so he was, and he sang in Hairspray. So
Yeah.
he was like, he had reasons to like better
he
up
probably
his voice
spent
and
all
stuff.
summer practicing.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
something that really made me laugh about that, so You've Got the Music in Me, is this movie continues to do the thing of the first movie where they blend the confusing. There are musical numbers, and then there are numbers where they're singing. And in where they're singing, that's real. But the musical numbers we
Is
assume is
musical.
like heightened fantasy reality. So we have this scene where they grab him. Kelsey says, hey, I wrote a song for you guys.
I'm Kelsey.
And they wrote a song.
Yeah.
So Gabriella starts singing You've Got the Music in Me. She's singing, and Troy's like, I don't wanna. I don't
sing, guys.
And he's standing by the piano like he's fresh out of rehab, watching them just fucking rail lines in the bathroom. He's like,
It's just gonna come out of me.
okay, fine, let me sing.
Yeah.
And then he fucking gives in, and it is so fucking funny and weird to hear him constantly be like, I'm done with singing.
Yes.
I'm not doing that anymore.
So
but this is like
denial.
4 musical numbers in.
Yeah.
We've already watched him sing. Several times. We've watched him lead the musical
Remind
numbers.
me, was the plan that he was gonna do the talent show with Gabriella and then Sharpay stole him away?
In this movie.
I don't remember, or he was doing the talent show with the group.
Right.
They were
So
practicing
why were
that.
they ever singing together?
I thought that was going to be their talent show song, and then they just kind of abandoned it.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
Like
we've
her
already
role
sang
in
that
this
song.
movie.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I know that there was a rehearsal for the song, and then like Troy got like pulled away into
Yeah.
Gabriella's thing, and then they did the Sharpay stole Kelsey's song, and then they did the rock version of "You Are the Music in Me," which is terrible.
Right.
It's like terrible even to listen to as a joke. Like it's just a
Yeah.
bad. I hate it.
As was the Hawaiian number.
Oh yeah, that's the one that
What
is-
Hawaiian number at the end?
that one cannot
No,
be
no.
named. It's
Wait, why don't I remember a Hawaiian
well, it's
number?
cut. It might have been cut out of the version of the movie you watched
What?
because it did not air on Disney Channel.
Shut up. Okay, because we watched this on Disney Plus.
I don't have Disney, but okay, I'm going to take this moment. Hey, guilty whores, it's your girl Kelsey. Remember all this content I provided for you for totally free? I don't have a Disney Plus account.
Are you asking one of them to give you their
I'm
password?
asking if one of you will add me to your Disney Plus account. Maybe also your Netflix and Hulu while I'm at it. I'm going through a breakup. Okay, I'm losing access to all
Good
of my
point.
streamers.
I did give you my Disney Plus back in the day.
Well, give it to me again.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways.
So yeah.
I think I'd rather a random fan do it. I think that's fun.
So yeah, they so that song did not. I remember this vividly because when I got the soundtrack, I was like, "What is this song?" Because it didn't. Not the version I pirated, nor the version
Wow.
that aired on Disney Channel was the song aired. It may have later aired as like an extended edition thing.
It's
But-
atrocious.
When is
But
it?
at some point, they must have realized how culturally appropriative and horrible it is.
Yeah.
But
But then they
the fact
reference
that-
it later in the film.
yeah.
Wait, when is it?
Okay, so and you were going to say the fact that
The fact that it's on the Disney Plus version, because I noticed this as well, I think that's wild.
It was not in the Disney Channel because I had to download it. I had to buy it $8. Thank you very much.
$8?
It was $8, and I got the SD version too.
Wait, you didn't rent it? You bought it.
Oh, I don't think it was rentable available.
What are you talking about?
That is a racket. That is
Yeah.
a scam and a half.
Anyway, you can Venmo me later.
That is
And
more money than it cost to buy it on iTunes in 2007.
That's more than a month of Disney Plus.
I'm telling you. And so my version had fade in and fade outs because it was for commercial breaks. And the first time it happened, I was like, what the fuck kind of style? And I was like, oh, this was for Disney Channel.
Yeah.
So it happens in the middle. He's late for a date with Gabrielle. Wait, this
I
is
remember
incredible.
that.
So you probably, Rainie, have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
I'm lost. I don't know. Maybe
It's a song called Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apwa.
Oh my god.
Okay, so listen to this. He's
Zach,
late.
I can see your balls every time you look. And I haven't been looking, but I just wanted to let you know.
We also don't want to see them.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, carry on.
So he's late for a date with Gabriella. He runs in, and who is the head of the staff?
Old white guy.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, white guy. I like him.
Curmudgeon-y white dude.
He's
Yeah, he's
a good
awesome.
actor. He's like the new Jarvis.
He's very funny. He's in other stuff too.
So he grabs him and he goes, Mr. Bolton, come with me. And then they're walking in this like fucking cave, and the lights are off, and he's like, what are we doing? And he's like, just trust
This is
me.
where I'm gonna fuck you.
Yeah, it definitely is like, it's like, where are you bringing me? He's like, just trust me and clap when it's over. And it's like, that
What?
doesn't make me feel better. He puts him down
I'm
in
gonna
this.
have clap when it's over.
He puts him down in this stone throne, and then doosh, the lights come on.
What?
And Sharpay is like dancing on a fucking Sharpay is dancing on a surfboard, and Ryan is like the spirit of Hawaii or some shit, and they're singing.
yeah, it's
But
bad.
why? What's the point?
No reason. Just
This is the original number. It's on iTunes.
yeah.
Sounds like a SpongeBob song.
So you don't know this.
It's like
It's like it's a deep memory for me because I think it was on the original one, right?
it's like weird how it released, but I just want to say that it took the cultural appropriation that was bop to the top. Where it's like a little bit of like, oh, this is like Latin fusion. I feel a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that these two like white as paint children are doing that. Arriba! Like,
no.
And then it just like takes it to 11.
Sedona, nonetheless. Like, what's Hawaiian about this situation besides the rocks of
Also, I don't know how I feel about the phrase white as paint. I just made that up, and
white as your sneakers. I mean, look at those
I mean, they're a little
babies.
bit dirty over
Well,
here.
they look
but,
really
you know,
white compared to mine.
Okay, well,
We all have white sneakers. Anyway.
I just want to take it back. So
Okay.
Okay, well that number sucks.
I don't know. I'd like to make white as paint a thing.
God, that's so great. That's so awesome knowing that number, because it was like deeply uncomfortable to watch.
It's very bad. Yeah, it's bad, and it's bad for many reasons and shouldn't exist.
It's obviously meant to be one of those things where it's like, oh, it's so cringy, how funny, but no, it's just like, oh, please fast forward.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the relationship between Troy and Chad?
Troy and Chad, which is
Corbin Blue
Corbin
and
Bleu.
Zac Efron.
Yeah.
How this
So-
is their love story.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like Troy is becoming I'm not fully convinced that Troy's arc in this movie is him being a villain or being in the wrong, because his whole shtick is that he's thinking about college and stuff, and because he's not, like, he's also being a dick about it, and that's the
My
issue.
boyfriend in high school was like, this girl is going to give me a fucking D1 ride to play like college football, I would be like, eat that ass. Like, go for it. For the fact that Vanessa Hudgens was like, I can't believe you're spending so much time with her. It's like,
Yeah.
that's your fucking future, dog.
Vanessa barely seemed to care. She was like, Troy wouldn't be like that.
And then
Yeah,
then
she's
like,
barely there, yeah.
something-
But it's like they make him out to be such a villain for hanging out with this. So the rich family
country
like
club
takes
people.
a liking to him,
Yeah.
and is getting college scouts, letting him train with the college basketball team.
Yep.
They give him a raise to $500 a week, which, by the way, that is still severely
For a
minimum
high
wage.
school- yeah, I'm like,
That is-
geez.
is not good pay. So how fucking underpaid is everyone else? I did the math on how what that hourly rate is. It's like $11 an
Oh
hour.
no! Did you guys have like a country club community? Okay, this was like my area 100%. Like you had the
You
country
had
club.
everything.
Wow, thank you.
This movie
no.
is for you.
Yeah, it was much like my community in my town, right? So we had like the country like the country, like literally like the cow pastures and farms, and that was all like the Lutz kids with the bonfires and the mudding and the trucking, and then we had the country club kids, which was like that side with like the pools and the tiki lounges and the
huma
Yeah.
and like their parents' credit card at the grill and bar, and you could go there and swim in the pool and so like every summer we would get jobs at the country club because old white men love to tip underage girls for serving them whiskey at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday, being a golf cart girl.
I hate
so you would like
everything you just
drive
said.
around
same.
and you'd be like taking shots with these old
So
guys, and they'd
deeply
be
uncomfortable.
tipping you
this
like
is getting so much worse as she keeps
$100,
going.
and then they'd be like, "I'll also take a frozen Snickers," and you'd be like,
The
"Oh,
fact that
Mr.
you're
Smith,
plowing
you're so
ahead
funny.
is
Yeah,
just,
you so wait.
just
I
awful.
I haven't gotten to the good part.
I have whiplash already.
That was like that was your job every year because it didn't require any thought, and no one cared that like a 15-year-old girl was serving alcohol to older men on the links. But my point is, everyone got a summer job at the country club. It was not doing what they make these kids do, which is apparently like 5 different fucking jobs. You have to be a cook, you have to be a babysitter, you have to be a teacher, and then a golf pro assistant. Like they had this man teaching like he was a golf like fucking junior. It was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, they're not paying him enough for that skill.
Yeah.
They're not.
He doesn't need to play basketball. He could go fucking make millions in Calabasas.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up the whole country club thing because I was wondering for a movie about summer break, summer jobs. This didn't feel like the most relatable version of it, where they're in the
Yeah.
middle of an Arizona desert. Like, why not do, I don't know, say the classic, we're at the beach.
Yeah, or camp. Or
Yeah,
woods.
100%.
It feels like this was a compromise of how like expensive or how cheap can we shoot this.
Yes.
I really think it was. They were like, we have this location, and then Kenny Ortega was also like, I don't know how to do a surfboard scene. Like,
It just didn't
can we do
overlap.
baseball and golf instead?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right,
I don't
cool.
know when is relevant to bring this up, but did you notice how blue the movie was?
Yes. It was like the contrast, the saturation.
They cranked that shit
Yeah.
up. And like I just noticed immediately because in what time is it? Zac Efron's eyes are like impossibly
a White
blue.
Walker.
Fucking eyes.
I mean, if Garrick was here, this would be the moment where he talked about how blue your eyes
but
are.
like
Zach.
not even close.
No,
oh
it-
my God. They're
it
like
hurt.
oceans. I want to
But
swim in
to
them.
that point, what I was going to add was like, for some reason, Zac Efron's acting at Corbin Blue in their moments, in their scenes, was so much more believable.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like he was in love. I felt like he was hurt. I felt like I was watching him go through a friendship breakup.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he was around the girls, he was like, gosh, guys, gee golly. And I'm like, you're acting with Corbin Blue.
Yeah.
You are, those puppy dog baby blues, it had me feeling things.
I agree 100%. And I definitely think that the blue eyes is part of why he was on posters, and maybe that's why they cranked it up. I just don't understand the conflict that he had with his friends, because if my friend was
Again.
like, if they were like, if one of my friends was given a raise to
Yep.
do bullshit work, I'd be like, yo, that fucking rules, dude. And the whole conflict of him being like, I don't know, I can't sit at the table and eat the food I've been serving. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna fucking eat the food.
Yeah. What did they say in the summer I turned pretty? I'll laugh at them when I'm sitting on my yacht.
I just I don't
I don't know that
That's
You
reference.
not
guys
a
watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, did you? Okay.
course,
You know
yeah.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
right? When
yeah.
he's like, I served them. And he's like, keep taking their money and their food. Anyways, keep going.
I think really it's like the actual substance of why Troy is behaving the way it's really what Troy actually does, or excuse me, how he treats his friends. Because there's like the dining scene where Chad serves him a burger and,
Sure.
and then he's like, oh, could you actually he thinks
I just remembered I ordered mine with Swiss, and he doesn't even look at them.
right, because
Yeah.
he's thinking that he's talking to this big D1 like basketball
Yeah.
guy, and he's like, oh, he's gonna introduce me. Chad's thinking, oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
introduce me, and he's like, nah. And then so he
But
kinda
I
keeps
would argue
courting
they
his
start
friends.
saying that he's being a dick before he's being a dick.
I agree.
And then he starts being a dick.
I agree.
So maybe it was a reaction.
Oh yeah, maybe they kind of created him. They
Created the monster.
Yeah, they
It's the
created
good
monster.
for her, not for me thing. You know, we get jealous of our friends, but it's really like, are we even in the same category of competitiveness? We're all individualized humans
I also
on our own
seeing,
journeys.
seeing him with the basketball players did make me realize that he's like a foot and a half shorter.
Yeah.
than them. This bro is never going pro.
It was weird that they cast tall people.
Yeah.
because Zac Efron is famously like 5'8".
Yeah.
I think,
and then
or-
with the
or
college
shorter.
players, you're like, Jesus, you guys
Yeah.
did it to him again.
They just hired actual basketball players.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, he doesn't stand a chance.
Made him look like a little baby boy.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch Sharpay's nickname?
No way.
Or I'm sorry, no, okay. It's her code name. When they're over the walkie-talkies,
Oh.
they refer to her as Golden Throat.
Excuse me?
That sounds like a James Bond type.
Yeah, I'm
Villain.
gonna need you to say that again. What?
Golden Throat.
Is there any context?
Yeah, her singing.
Look how dirty we are, you guys.
Oh, I knew it was
We're
the singing.
so- oh,
wait, don't
wait,
bring
what?
us into this. Look how dirty
Your
we are.
face was confused as mine.
Well, no, it was. I just think it's a bad. Even in reference to the singing, it's not a good nickname for a high school.
Do you
kid.
think this was like Disney's
By
version
adults.
of perpetuating the conspiracy that they put a bunch of dicks and stuff in movies?
Oh,
like Little
perhaps.
Mermaid got the dick on the cover. Do you think this is their way of being like,
Golden
those who
throat.
suck dick will know?
it's a whistle? It's a dog whistle for dick suckers everywhere.
Yeah, they were like, you rang.
I thought you were.
No,
gonna
Kelsey's watching the movie, and every time she says Kelsey, she's like, "That's me," and then they go, "Golden Throat, that's me."
I felt represented in this
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
I didn't even hear that. Wow, that went right over me.
The nickname thing I was thinking of was when they're the yoga scene with the mom.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
When I can't remember what she calls Ryan, but she calls him like my little something something, and then she like boops his nose or something, and they have
and
the
then
little.
Sharpay is like, don't compare me to that yogini. And I'm like, that's not a slur. You didn't offend her.
So Zac Efron, we've talked about him. He
Yes.
is a walking meme throughout this movie.
Yeah.
He's going for it. He's
Yeah.
even before what is the meme during Bet on It, but he's just given the hands.
Hands.
And it's like, this was pre-meme, but somehow he fucking knew.
Made it.
The Bet on It scene
Yeah,
is so unbelievable.
it's incredible.
It is, and part of what makes it so good is that there is silence. Like, it's the first time that the movie is so quiet for a while. And then he's running. Like,
Yeah.
he's in the kitchen, and they show him, they pass a pamphlet, and they show, so there's no dialogue, right? It's a quiet scene. He reads it, and he goes, and then in the next shot, he's
And
running on
do
the
you
golf
remember what's on the pamphlet?
right.
The motivation for Bet on It is that staff are not allowed to compete in the talent show. Right. So he finds out that him and his friends won't be able to compete in the talent show anymore, and he gets flustered, and that's what the setup for Bet on It
And
is.
so he runs onto the golf course. The music starts. He's singing, bet on it, bet on. He does his hands.
Oh
he
my
does.
God, okay, now
You
I
know what you're talking
about.
about.
I was so confused. I was like, did I not get this one? That was fucking crazy.
It's
It's
Our
interpretive
boys,
dance.
like galloping like a gazelle across the golf course.
There's a lot of art hidden in Bet on It.
There is so much.
I mean,
Yeah.
the most iconic thing is the reflection.
I didn't know that was in this movie.
Yeah.
He looks down into the water, and the water's singing back to
When
him.
will-
Because
my-
he says, it's the line, it's no good at all to see yourself and not recognize your face. He looks down, and then it's just, it's the worst CGI you've ever seen in your life.
Another moment of magical realism.
There it is. My absolute favorite moment of that is this super down angle shot. He jumps off
Mm-hmm.
a
the
ledge
sand, yeah.
into the sand. He does the superhero landing, and then he gets up and then reveals that he just has a little bit of sand in his hands, and he goes, he jazz hands out and he throws the
I think
sand.
they had something about like sand and dirt in this movie because if you recall during the baseball number, Ryan picks up a big old handful of dirt from the dugout and like goes to throw it at Corbin, but he's kind of like, and like lets it roll off of his hand, and he's like, I'm like, they really didn't let them go full out.
That's definitely another one of the greatest scenes. I wanted to, something I learned while researching this was that they shot the Bet On It scene over like a week.
What? No.
It wasn't due to like the complexity of it, but it was because they were shooting it in between takes and stuff. And so it's just like so funny to imagine that like they'll be like, all right, we're wrapped on the kitchen scene. All right, Zach, let's go. Let's do another frolicking in the. It also explains.
You all stretched out.
It also explains how Zach Efron has unlimited energy to be sprinting for like 5 minutes straight.
It's a great point. Because he's going so fucking hard in every shot.
At this point?
No.
Okay. Holy shit.
That's amazing. Maybe it was partially. I think it was also magic hour, so maybe they wanted that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Yeah, for light, because they must have had to shoot at the same time for the light sun position.
I think we should give a moment to Miss Sharpay Evans.
Yes.
She is a phenomenal villain.
Yes.
In this.
Yeah.
And I really feel like they turned it up a notch from the first one.
Oh yeah.
I think she rules.
Why does she want to fuck Troy in this one and not the first one?
She does want to fuck Troy in the first one.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's her whole deal.
So they gave it to her again?
Like I said, it's just a repeat of the first movie with a different
Okay.
But she works a little harder for it.
I liked her song where she's at the pool. What's that one
Fabulous?
called? Okay, the line that just sent me to absolute outer space.
I'm like mentally writing it down, hoping.
Exactly what it is. Towels from Turkey.
Oh,
Turkey from Maine.
What's up with the turkey in Maine, you guys?
Yep, there it is.
What's happening to it?
If you go to Maine, you must try the turkey.
There's not a single person who has ever talked about the turkey in Maine.
You know, they had Spain down for the lyrics, and they were like, "What rhymes with this?
The fucking Spain.
What
rhymes.
location
Spain?
rhymes? Yeah,
I've got." And then Sharon drops the boom mic and is like, "You could do Maine."
They're like, "Shut up, Sally."
She said, "Ow, I'm in pain," and then they were like, "Maine, that's it, Maine."
Man, that was such a good song, though. I feel like they amped up the bouge. And it's funny because they're talking about a lot of designer things in that song.
Yeah.
But then if you look at all the garb she's wearing, they obviously couldn't. They had to get like the most ratchety ass knockoff like Chanel sunglasses for her. LOL, gaga moment.
Also worth noting, since we're talking about Fabulous, Sharpay has a vanity plate that says Fabulous, but it's spelled wrong.
How is it spelled?
I think it's just spelled like with no O's. It's just like Fabulous.
Oh, that's funny.
I think probably just due to character limits.
Yeah, she really reminds you how bubblegum pop pink this movie is.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Literally everything she has is pink. She's got custom pink golf balls, a custom pink golf cart.
Yep.
I'm only naming golf things. But fucking Barbie movie, move over Greta Gerwig. Sharpay did it first.
Sharpay was the blueprint.
Yeah, she's very pop in this film, and it you think it's fashion of the, you have to remember fashion of that times was like that. We were wearing multiple belts on top of our shirts. We were wearing big earrings with a big necklace. It was a lot.
But Sharpay was still over the top for the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite comedic moment in the movie comes from Sharpay, where she's mad and she's in a room and she just turns to a drummer and goes, "Give me a beat." And then she walks. So I think we should talk about the ending because Troy has agreed to sing with Sharpay, but then he's like, "No, I'm not going to because I turned my back on my friends."
Yeah.
Ryan has choreographed this whole number for all the workers, and they're going to perform it at this big talent show, but then none of them are allowed to perform, and then Troy says, "I'm not performing with you unless all my friends can perform," and then they blah, blah, blah. And so there's this whole thing. He then tells Sharpay, "I will perform with you," because she's crying, blah, blah, blah. Ryan, being a good brother, is like, "I think you should perform with my sister." They teach him a new song. And then so Troy goes on, he sings a song, but it's not Sharpay, it's Gabriella, and they have a song, and it's romantic.
I got chills just having it described
truly,
to me.
like, I don't think you guys understand what happened to Sharpay in that moment. She had been practicing, she had been singing this number, she had been preparing her whole summer to do this one song, and then the fact that when she's supposed to go on stage, it's a different number and the guy leaves her for another woman has been my nightmare. at least a couple times a month. That like must stem back from some childhood musical theater trauma. Because do you have this? Like,
not at all.
Like getting up on stage and someone being like, "It's not your song," or like, "You don't know this one," or like, "We're not singing." That is traumatic, and she will never forget that.
That's
Justice for Sharpay.
Wow. Well, and I was
there's a fun little plot hole here that I want to bring up. That I haven't. I found it during my rewatch, but I don't know if I've seen anyone talk about it. So maybe this isn't a plot hole, but you can tell me. At the end of Go My Own Way, Gabriella gives Troy back the tea necklace, and then she gets into the getaway vehicle driven by her mother.
When your mom had to pick you up. Oh.
And then when she comes back in this moment during Every Day, she's wearing the necklace. Where the fuck did she get the necklace?
Well, she broke into his house and took it out of his drawer.
It wouldn't be the first time someone's shown up like a fucking burglar at someone's house.
Yeah.
I went and I bought another one.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Do people call it out?
I called it out, but I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I don't think there must have been something cut out of the movie because
by the way, unless I'm like fucking totally forgetting, I don't remember Gabriella's mom picking her up. So either I spaced out or I watched another different version.
It's a very forgettable moment.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't get the inside of the car.
Yeah.
We get her getting into the like I remember it because I talked about it in my video, but the timing of it is so funny because how could her mom have possibly pulled up at the perfect time for her to complete the song Go My Own Way?
Can I insert a very quick story about something that happened to me just like that?
Absolutely.
I was a bad kid. We all know that. I was a bad teenager, but I was really good at soccer. And I had one coach that really wanted me to like stop doing drugs and focus on soccer. And we butted heads. Like it was bad. And so I quit the soccer team and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I can't stand Coach Carlos. Fuck that guy. I'm not going to do it. Well, he like talked to my parents and he got them on board. They convinced me, go to one practice with Coach Carlos. He was a real asshole, real stern motherfucker. They're like, go, if you still hate it, then you don't have to go. But we got hopes for you and just keep your mouth shut. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll go to one practice. So my sister, who was like 16 at the time, she drove a car. I couldn't. I was 15 and she drops me off at practice and I'm like, okay, pick me up at this time, whatever. I do practice. I say fuck on the field or something when someone took a ball away from me and Coach Carlos blows the whistle and he's like, that's it. Take your fucking penny off. You're off my field. You don't cuss. Da, 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 da. And I was like, fine, fuck you. I don't want to play this stupid fucking game anyways. And he's like, what the fuck did you say to me? And I was like, fuck you. Fuck your soccer team. Fuck your field. And I literally took my penny off. I threw it on the ground. I turned around. And as I turned around, my sister was pulling up to the soccer field at the exact moment. And I was like, this is the best moment of my life. And I stopped right off the field directly into her car. And I was like, let's go. And she was like, what the fuck happened? I was like, just drive. And we drove away and it was magical timing. And that is my exact moment.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was really good. And then he called my house like 700 times that night. And I put the phone on.
But also kind of fucked up behavior on his part because you're a child.
I was a child and like a bad one. So granted.
Whatever. I mean, but like no amount of being a bad child is like an excuse for like this grown ass man to be like a screaming match.
And then to call my parents like 70 times that night being like, your daughter is a fucking potty man.
Fuck you, Coach Carlos.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. You can cut that out if you want, but go on.
I liked hearing it though.
I like hearing
Thanks,
it.
Jar Jar.
I'm sure there's going to be people who are like, I was really touched by your Coach Carlos story. Here's my HBO login.
Oh, yeah. If anyone wants to give me HBO Max, I'll take it.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Even though it'll be no more.
Well, no, it will be.
No.
It's merging with like Discovery.
Yeah, it's new Discovery Plus and HBO on its own.
And that's what we're gonna call it.
Don't spread misinformation.
We're all gonna call it. We're gonna be like, hey, can I have your login for Discovery Plus and HBO on its own? Oh yeah, we never develop a shorter name for that. No. Okay.
I feel bad for Sharpay at the end, right? I feel like she should have been able to sing as part of that song. But also, what the fuck? Everyone else, the whole staff has been performing or practicing this choreography. They've been preparing for this. And they're like, actually, I would like to watch mostly Zac Efron sing.
Yeah. On like a strange cloud backdrop that looked real weird.
I like it because but it's also, I can't judge it objectively.
Yeah, fair.
Well, and then they all join
Yeah.
in, right? So first it's mostly Zac Efron singing. Then it's him and Vanessa Hudgens, and
He
there's
walks out of the crowd.
it's beautiful, right? I get it.
Yeah.
I get emotional, but like, why is everyone not? So then finally they all come in. I'm like, oh, cool. They're gonna get to do the choreography that they've been practicing. No, they all join in a circle with their backs to the audience,
Yeah.
and the camera goes overhead, and you go, oh, what a pretty shot. Terrible choreography.
Yeah.
Just
And
abysmal.
then, correct me if I'm wrong, when they announce the winner of
Right.
the talent show, the guy's about to say, and our winner, as always, our 5-time champ, and
Right.
they're about to say Sharpay, but she didn't perform.
Correct.
And then she goes, my brother Ryan, who also didn't perform.
Whose choreography we did not see.
And the backs were to the audience.
We
Yeah.
didn't see it.
So this was all a scam. They
Yeah, I
run
think-
the talent. They obviously have been running the talent show. The
Yeah,
family.
or there were some performances that they cut out of the movie.
Yeah, the ending
And-
was a little sus.
And while this is happening, by the way, they're performing to adults
Yeah.
who are
Yeah.
watching a children's talent show.
I don't know who they're. I was always wondering who is the audience of this talent show. Is it the attendees of the country club?
Also,
Yeah.
why are there all the kids the same age? You would think there would be other children in this
Babies.
country club.
Old people love to go to shows.
And that-
Old people love
Yeah.
that
And
shit.
that is just the first ending song of the movie.
Fuck yeah,
I'm so glad
let's
you brought
talk
this up.
about it. Because
Not one, not two, 3 ending songs.
I guess it depends on how you count it.
It's Zac Efron's song. It's the group song.
Well, so those are both the song Every Day.
No. One's like a ballad.
Well, it's like the Once in a Lifetime, that song. And then and then Gabriella comes in. And then they Every Day of a Lot, and then it's Live Every Day.
Yeah, it went on
it's-
too long.
It's still Every Day though.
Sure. And then they
Yeah.
have a post credit song.
Yeah.
What the
all,
fuck?
all for one.
All
How's
for
that
one.
one go?
We just like hearing your voice.
It's a everybody all what everybody all for what a real summer has just begun.
Hey.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, is he gonna stand?
Oh yeah, we're getting choreography.
We're getting choreography.
You guys
This is
gotta
why
go.
You should be watching this on youtube.com/Try Guys Podcast. What is the channel? I don't even know.
5, 6, 7, 8. All right, his arms are up. Oh, he's
my God,
spinning.
spin.
He's going.
Yes, we got the
he's
hands
he's
going.
doing. Yes.
Foot going out.
Oh,
someone
yeah.
just played the air guitar.
Oh
He
my
backed it up.
God.
Oh, he's surfing now. He's surfing. Oh, he just beat himself like a drum. Oh, back and forth. It looks like a TikTok song.
Wow.
Do you do this on TikTok, Georgia?
You fucking should.
You should. This is our 3rd or 4th spin. Wow.
Yeah. Woo! And
First
way to
of
go,
all-
Rainie, for leaning over the computer and doing kind of a jaggedy camera
Yeah,
motion.
good job, Rainie.
She was like, I can't even ask him to pause. This is happening now.
And how did that stay in your memory for so long?
Dude, that
I-
fucking ruled.
Oh yeah. I have
this
a
guy
thing.
fucks, okay?
I can't forget song lyrics and things like that. So I guess it just
I
kinda,
was definitely not talking about the lyrics. I was for sure talking
well,
about the
no,
dance.
but I think that I have there's musical memory or whatever, I think it's just I don't know. It's just muscle memory because
Okay.
I learned it because when I was in high school, we were going.
I wanted to get laid.
I was pretty
No,
much.
we
no.
established as a senior he definitely was not.
Yeah. So we were all learning. I was teaching friends of mine the dances to this.
I just
out of
can't.
breath.
That seemed harder than the All in This Together.
Oh,
It-
we
it's a
said
lot
they
more
stepped
dance.
up the dancing this
Yeah.
season.
There's a lot of dance. I mean, and there's more. You just need another person for that.
Ugh, we
Yeah,
fucking
'cause,
sorry to
I-
light
when
you
they
down,
say
buddy.
everybody one for all,
If Garrick
you
were
have
here.
somebody
If you
pull,
want to
and then you do
toss me around, that's
and
fine.
then you've got
but-
the clap, and then you've got
Wow.
everybody up, everybody. And there's a whole. There's then there's a guys and girls part. It's the guys.
Oh, yeah, that
so
felt
we
sexist. It
can
was
make
weird.
through.
It was like
it's
Grease.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned it to teach to friends, and then we started practicing it, and we were gonna film it, and then we never did.
Wow. Fucking amazing.
That was impressive. And now I see why you got this guy.
Yeah.
He really is the king of High School Musical.
He's the king of high school.
What can I
musical.
say? I'm a king of. I have a small high school in
New Jersey?
it's in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh!
Some final details about that final scene. One, they are performing with microphones.
Yes.
So again, we have scenes in the movie that are musical numbers and scenes that are real. I would posit that this is real.
Okay.
They are performing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is real.
Maybe they decided to finally do their choreography as like a little end of the summer dance.
Can you fucking imagine? You go like, hey, I'm gonna go use the pool. Oh,
There's a fucking flash
turns
mob
out
of
all of
teens.
the
What the
all the
heck is
teenage
going on
staff
over
have
here?
microphone. This seems dangerous.
And none of them are fucking. It's weird.
So I don't know if you two looked this up, but did you
Of course
catch
we didn't.
Did you catch the cameo?
Okay, motherfucker. Yeah. So I happen to just be wearing my Hannah
What?
Montana shirt today.
I did not.
Just
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, it's Disney Day. Let's do it. I'm finishing the movie. Right before we record, Jarvis comes in. I pause. I go say hello. I do my thing. I'm like, hey, I'm just about like finishing the movie. I'm like, I'm at the end though. It's a credit. She's like, go watch it.
I did say that.
It's pretty important.
Wait, after the credits, like after the
No,
bloopers?
this is the in the sun.
okay. Where?
And they cut to Miss Hannah Montana herself. Miley Cyrus
Miley?
has a fucking cameo.
What was she doing?
Dancing.
No.
Yeah, she was doing one of these. Or whatever.
Why?
Because
It's
there was a
canon.
poll on Disney Channel's website in the year 2007
No, they're fucking
where they
wasn't.
said, which Disney Channel star do you want to have cameo? And Hannah Montana won.
Do you think Hannah Montana, or do you think Miley Cyrus was like, I'm abso-fucking-lutely not doing that? Or do you think she was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it? Bad impression.
It's so funny because she so clearly was on set for like 5 seconds.
minutes,
I
yeah.
had to
Because,
fucking fly to Albuquerque.
yeah, because again, this isn't just like something I was doing in my free time. I was working on a video about High School Musical
sure.
2. I looked at all the external shots of where she was, and she's not there any other time except for when they
Oh,
cut.
so they might have.
So it's truly just like, and it's just like I think there's like an extra, and then the main one of like, so Kenny Ortega like did choreograph the dances, but the actual guy who did all the dancing on set, that guy, I only know who he is because he did like a how do you do the dances, the High School Musical YouTube video that I watched when I was 15.
For a video, right? For research.
No, that was when I was 15.
Okay.
Yeah, that was to learn it. And so he's like, so it's just like somebody who would have just been there in general. So I think that they just shot like little pickups or whatever.
Yeah.
Such a shame
with
that you
Hannah
don't
Montana.
get her on screen with Zach
Troy,
and Vanessa at the
yeah.
same time. Do we think it's canon? Because, okay, this is the Disney universe that she's not playing
Is she dressed
Miley
as
Cyrus.
Hannah Montana?
That's what I'm saying. Do we
Yeah.
think that this is Hannah
I
Montana
don't know.
is
Thank God I
there?
bought it so I can rewatch the ending because I
Yeah.
missed this.
Oh, boy.
I don't recall.
Yeah, thank God you
Was
bought
that
it.
our
Isn't
fun
in
fact?
Hannah Montana, Miley is still her name as her regular self. She
Yes.
just has a different last name.
Correct.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for some fun facts?
Oh, I'm
Fun
ready.
facts with Zach's back.
I don't think I'm going to have
That
any
was
as good
nasally.
as
It
last
wasn't real.
time.
That was great.
But let's see if I can find anything that you don't know. So
Yeah, like last time.
as Jarvis said, that the Bet On It dance sequence was filmed over multiple days. It took 6 days to film.
That's showbiz.
6 days well
They
spent.
say that in the film, remember?
We talked about hats.
Yeah.
Ryan and Kelsey, that's you.
That's the two people I talked about with hats.
Both of them wear 13 hats.
I told you! I don't even own 13 hats. I've never owned 13 hats in my life.
an unreal amount of hats.
That is No, see, this is where media sets us up to have unrealistic expectations of life. Because
Yeah.
if I was a little kid, I'd be like, I need more fucking hats, Mom. I need my blue hat for my blue outfit. I need my golf hat for my golf
What's
outfit.
the average price of a hat, do you think, in the High School Musical universe?
Oh,
$12.
$12. So we're thinking
They were
they
bought at
both got
Dollar
like
Tree.
200
No,
bucks worth of
there's
hats,
some more.
$150.
Yeah, because there was some fancy. There's some like fedoras. There's some glittery numbers. They weren't cheap.
Yeah. I'm just saying their hat budget is huge.
It's
like
massive.
canonically, like Ryan and Kelsey's hat budget as high school kids is gigantic.
Yeah, like what did their parents do?
God damn. Yeah, Kelsey's
She's a
trust fund
rower?
baby.
Well, Ryan's
Yeah.
rich, so we know that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So it took 4 days to film all the scenes at East High. One of those days, there were actual students in class while they were
Oh.
filming. They were instructed not to interfere, not to go
Can you
over,
imagine?
knowing that High School Musical is filming at your school right now, and you're expected to just sit in
Absolutely
fucking
not.
class?
You're gonna tell me a bunch of high school kids fucking listen to their teachers?
Yeah.
No way. There was some shit that went
The
down.
phrase "do not interfere" is also so funny.
Yeah.
Do not interfere. It sounds like 1984.
Yeah.
We are filming High School Musical. Do not interfere.
I thought of it as like a wild tiger. Do not interfere in the natural habitat.
This drew in a rating of 17.6 million viewers on premiere night.
Wow.
That made it not only the highest DCOM debut in history, but also the highest premiere in cable history.
Wow.
Beating even higher than the 1970 debut of Monday Night Football.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's what I read. I'm like, there's no way that this is higher than Monday Night Football. No, but it's the highest premiere.
And that's why they went to the movie theaters after this, because they were like, hang on, cash cow.
Yeah.
Let's make some moolah.
I truly couldn't see. This is where I'm like, I really missed this era. Like, I missed the high school generation completely.
Yeah.
I was balls deep in other things. And it just makes me wonder, like, how much different my life would have been influenced, because media and like TV shows that I watched at the time totally mapped the way that I felt like I wanted
Right.
to be and model myself after.
You would have sang to your reflection a lot more.
Yeah, I think I probably would have gone more into musical theater. Who knows? I would have been a Broadway star.
How isn't it bizarre that the third High School Musical movie, like, how often is it that a sequel, let alone a like third
Trequel.
installment of a cable movie goes to theaters?
Made for TV movie goes
Yeah,
to
made for
theater.
TV movie
Probably
goes to
the
theaters.
only time in
I didn't
history.
realize that the third one went to theaters. And by the way,
Guess who was there opening weekend?
Jar Jar, you were.
Guess who pirated the soundtrack?
Of course.
So that he knew the songs in the theater.
You are
when he went
committing
to-
so many felonies and
Oh yeah,
admitting
every
to
live
them
broken was
right
for
here.
East High, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, once a Wildcat, always a
and
Wildcat.
guess who will be back to help us through that one?
Are we doing a third?
Of course we will.
Oh my god! Whatever, Jar Jar. I like hanging out with
You
Jar Jar.
can't
My
do
best
two
friend
and not
of
do
all
three.
time.
What are you talking about? We're going to do the whole trilogy. We're going to do the whole trilogy.
There's only 3.
Yeah.
There's only 3. And
We'll
then
do
there's
the
like a
Cars
made
trilogy.
for
We're doing
TV
a.
movie.
Oh, boy.
We're going to keep watching Twilight. We're never going to die.
There's a thing that I haven't seen, so you could call me a fake fan, called like Sharpay's Big Adventure or something
Oh,
like that.
that's a spin-off, right?
Yeah, and I haven't heard good things about it. And it doesn't have like
Wait, it's a movie.
I get technically.
Yeah, Jar Jar. I feel like that is very off-brand for you.
We 1,000% are watching that after we watch High School Musical.
I don't really know anything about it. I just know
Well,
that
then we'll have you back to like
Don't
give
you
your
fucking watch it.
Don't you
Okay,
fucking
maybe it'll be the
watch
free-
it.
yeah.
I
I'm
love when
down.
we yell at our guests.
it's my favorite part.
Now it's time. We have to decide,
saved
is
your
this
tears.
movie a pleasure, a guilty pleasure, or just plain guilty? Why should people watch this film?
Well, I think it's an absolute pleasure. I think it's unironically a fun summer romp. The music is good. The acting is cheesy, but in a fun way. It's fun for the family, and also just fun in general.
I would have to say, if you are not a 15-year-old who's super into Euphoria, then you are gonna fucking love this. This is totally a pleasure
Like,
for
where are the
that.
drugs?
Yeah, that age group. But I would say if you're over 30, I mean, it's a guilty pleasure.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm giving it P/GP.
This movie fucking rips.
Wow.
It's fun. The music is great. The choreo is popping off. It makes you want to be young again. It makes you want to work in the kitchen and bang out pots with your friends, and you go, fucking, I want a summer job. Capitalism rules. I loved it. Obviously, it's a little guilty. It's a fucking guilty pleasure because it's a fucking children's movie. But it's a fun one. And honestly, I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it. I was
Yeah.
laughing my ass off.
I'm glad you mentioned this at least a little bit. We didn't talk about how Work This Out is basically a capitalism anthem.
They work it out.
Jarvis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Again, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Jarvis Johnson and Jarvis Johnson Gold, which is my premium channel that's free.
Whoa. I love a freemium moment.
Yeah, it's a little freemium moment.
And if they want to follow you on the various socials,
I am at Jarvis pretty much everywhere except for TikTok. But yeah, so you can
What do you
find
want tickety talk?
on TikTok? I am.
The titty talk. The time.
I think I'm.
You don't know your what? Why was this?
Oh,
This
yeah.
wasn't a trick question.
Well, no, I was like, I'm thinking of changing it, but it currently is Jarvis, except for instead of an I, it's an underscore.
Sick.
Sick.
Yeah, Evis.
Fucking hella tight.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm at Corn Day and all things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh on all things. I'm Bernard on all the things.
And until next time, what time is it?
Game time. Oh.
Oh.
Shit. Try it again.
It's my vacation.
Summertime. Did I get it?
Yeah.
What time is it?
Party
Summertime.
time. Well,
School's out. Scream and shout.
I'll get it for the third one.
What time is it?
the time of our lives.